Hi everybody. Alright, last video we went over the basics of what this O2 sensor is, why we're putting it in the plane, etc. In this video we're going to take it apart. We're going to mount the sensor up into a pair of helping hands here, and we're going to heat it up and figure out which wire is which. Because there was no way of actually knowing. All of the online places are like, oh yeah, here's what your wiring code for your colors are. None of them were right. And one of the viewers had put in a link, oh, here's where all the codes are. Yeah, I've seen that. This O2 sensor wasn't made for any of those car companies, and it doesn't match any of those. So I appreciate the help, but if it was there, I'd have already found it. So what we've got here is we've got it mounted up. We're going to heat it up with a propane torch. Again, we're trying to get rid of all of the O2 around the sensor, and the easiest way to do that is to burn it off. At the same time, getting it really hot is what you need for it to start producing voltage. So yeah, pretty easy. No big surprises here, just once we figure out which one is which, because there's only one wire. We know which ones are the heater wires, and we're happy with that, and it really wasn't that hard. We just needed to make sure that this sensor was working. The fifth wire, again, you can get rid of. All you need is the two for the heater, one for the signal, and one for the signal ground, and that's pretty much it. So, and then once we have that happy, we're going to put it in a Molex connector and connect it up, and then test it out. The nice thing about this is because it's about 3/4 of an inch away from the EGT probe and the same exhaust. That's good because you can turn the O2 sensor on, and I've got it on a switch. And that way, you can tell it's working because the EGT probe and that exhaust will start going up. Okay, I do have one small rant to my buddy Joe, who didn't listen when I told his fat f***ing ass to lose some weight, and then died of a massive heart attack last week. Well, I can't tell him anything, because he didn't listen. But look, the man died like he lived, with a mouthful of crab. I mean, just up and Widowmaker, right? It's... Damn you, Joe. So young, too. Could have had at least 20 more years, but... but he chose poorly. Alright, so we're happy with the wire situation. Everything is good. Now that that's good, we're going to... there's only 3 wires left sticking out of the firewall that we needed to deal with, and that's these. So we are having a 4-wire Molex, right, handle this O2 sensor. The 4th wire, which is the signal ground, doesn't go through the firewall. That hooks up directly to the battery, right? Because, again, this sensor produces its own voltage when it's really hot, and you want to make sure that the sensor ground is hooked to an actual ground. That'll help clear up the signal. Alright, and so we're happy with that. So like I said, all you have to do after that to make sure that this thing is working is, you know, turn it on, and you should see an EGT rise. Now, there is a question of being able to put in more sensors, and we'll get into all that later once we do the once we do something else. But we'll talk about that later. Alright, in the next video, we'll finalize this O2 sensor thing, and then we will move on. So thank you for joining me, everyone, and have a good weekend. See you soon.